Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings, y'all. What's the word? What's the word? Let me fix this camera. Man, I am back in the building, sir. What is the word, man? Man, it's been a real good one. It's feels good to be back, man, but yeah, I'm kinda I know y'all probably I don't know if y'all seen my community post or not, but I'm actually under the weather right now. I actually got COVID right now. I'm in the last days of it though, so it's actually, not as really as bad as it should have been. I'm glad the Lord caught it because I was supposed to, what I'm saying, go get my son this week, but I'm glad the Lord, put it on my spirit to let me know, like, okay, I need to go get myself checked out, man, because I was feeling horrible, man. Like, since Friday or Saturday, man, it's like, all my energy and all everything in me was like drained, man. I know I still look kind of sick right now. I can tell just by looking in the camera, looking at myself. I still look kind of sick now, too, but I'm getting better, you know what I'm saying? I'm not 100%. I'm definitely not nowhere near 100%, but I think I'm more like 70, 75 or something like that. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Praying to the Father, y'all, for a speedy recovery and everything. So, I don't want to be on here too long to talk about, be rambling too long, but that's how it be when I be gone for a little bit and then I come back and everything. But yeah, man, we're gonna get everything situated. So, yes, sir, back in the building, man. But I just want to touch on the topic today, but it's something that been on my mind for a little bit for a while, actually. Well, it ain't really been on my mind. It ain't really been on my thoughts like that. Just what I've been seeing lately, what I've been dealing with, because I've been talking to a lot of people. Um, I've been doing a lot of conversion. I've been doing a lot of mentoring. You know, a lot of counseling. A lot of people. I've been doing a real lot. I've been speaking to a lot of different people. A lot of different women, a lot of different men, a lot of different kids, a lot of different elderly people. And what I've been seeing so far is that a lot of people are still under the delusion where they feel like I can live my life the way I want to live my life. I can do the things I want to do in my life, and as long as I pray and talk to God about it, I'm okay. I can still live my life the way I want to. I can still party as much as I want. I can still drink as much as I want. I can still smoke as much as I want. I can still fornicate. I can still listen. Most people think that God is this lovable God, this God that loves all, and that's I will forgive you no matter what you do. I will do this and do that for you. I'm always here for you. But that's not the case. The God I serve is a God of covenant. And under that covenant is certain laws, is certain statutes that us as followers of God we must keep. Is certain dietary laws, certain statutes, and certain ways we must conduct ourselves as followers of Christ. So knowing this and knowing these things that we're held to a certain what's the word I'm looking for? I want to get this just right. We have to be accountable for certain things that we do. And in order for God to know who you are, you have to be under that covenant. And knowing that God is a God of covenant, and if you're not living under that covenant, sad to say, God don't know you. Now, us as a people, we can go on in as our daily life and live walking as we walk as humans and as people, as we do, as living souls. But we have to accept things for what it really is and for what, facts is facts. We can't live our life the way we want to and still think we're gonna have salvation. We can't do the things we want to do in our life and still think, things are going to go our way. So it just don't work like that. I wish it did, but it don't work like that. It's a little bit more complex than that. It's a little bit more, what I'm looking for. It's a little bit more, I'm just going to say, I'm call a spade a spade. It's a little bit more complicated than what we think it is. We must accept this if we want to be followers of Christ. The Bible says you can't serve two masters. You either gonna love one and hate the other. You can't get sweet and bitter water from the same fountain. I'm gonna go a little bit more deep in that because I was sure about to go off real quick. But yes, before we start the video, I must say, and we must profess this, that God is the ruler and Christ is the right hand on the throne. Believe it. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share this video, please. You know what I'm saying? But yes, my verse I'm going to be reading from today is going to be, because I know people might ask me like, okay, well, you keep talking about a covenant. What is God's covenant? What is the covenant that we're supposed to live on? Okay, listen, to sum it all up, to make it more easy for you, if you want to live under God's covenant, basically obey the laws, obey the commandments, obey the dietary laws, obey these things that they tell you to do. That's how you live under God's covenant. That's how you know if you're under God's covenant or not. But now, the verse I want to read from today is in Genesis, in the first book, 6 and 7. And it reads, I will make thee exceedingly fruitful. I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and you, and thy seed after thee in the generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. Listen. God said, I will make a covenant between me and you. Meaning, I'm going to lay these things out in front of you. For you to see my kingdom, I'm going to lay these things out in front of you that you must obey, that you must do in order to be a follower of me, in order to be a part of my domain, So, if I establish this covenant, God gave a covenant to Moses, which are the 10 commandments. That's the covenant, which are the 10 commandments. And he gave them, and he passed them down, and he read them to the people. You keep these commandments, you keep these laws, you keep these dietary laws, and we shall be fine. And you shall walk in my covenant. But the moment you step out of my covenant and go to walk your own way, hey, don't be surprised what happens to you. Because so many people that feel like they are God's child, so many people that feel like they are chosen ones, but you are not called and you are not chosen unless you keep in God's commandments and you are under that covenant. Because God is not an all-lovable God. God is not a God that loves all. God don't pray for the whole world. God prays for the ones that are his. I know this world will teach you that and everything, that God prays for all people. No, God don't pray for all people because God don't know all people. They might think they know God, but if you're not walking in that covenant, God does not know you. If you're not obeying those 10 commandments, God does not know you. If you're breaking all the laws, then God does not know you. It's a difference between breaking laws willfully and unwillfully. Now, if you're breaking these laws and you know them, and you still want to break these laws, that's called willfully. But if you're doing it and don't know, okay, then all right, cool. God shows a little bit of mercy. God is not an unfair God, not an unjust God. So he will never place you in at fault of something that you don't know. But for the people that think that, I can live my life, because I had a conversation with someone about this topic, and I told them just straight just like that, because they had, I'm not going to say the person's name, but they said something about, I don't think it should be that deep when it comes down to God. I don't think it should be that deep. Like, it has nothing to do with being deep. It has nothing to do with being serious or not. It has something to do about, taking God serious and taking this, what he says, serious, Like I said a minute ago, you can't get sweet and bitter water from the same fountain. It does not work like that, the Bible said, like I said, the Bible says, you love me, you'll keep my commandment. For my people, in the book of Chronicles, for my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from thy wicked ways, then you shall hear from heaven. Willfully sinning, God don't know them people. God don't listen to those people when they pray to him. God don't know you if you're not under that covenant. We must put a difference between holy and unholy, clean and unclean. How can you call yourself a follower of Christ if you're not walking in that covenant? So many people, they glorify, they exalt many things above God, but they still say you're a follower of Christ and you're under that covenant. So many people step outside the laws, but they still say you're a follower of Christ and you're in that covenant. So many people worship idols, but they still say they under God's covenant. So many people fornicate, but they still say they're under that covenant. So many people break every law that God has put forth to keep you in that covenant and keep you hedged in and protected. But you say you're under that covenant. Who you trying to fool? Who you playing with? Now, mind you now, I don't see nothing wrong with having a good time every now and then. But when you doing that and you overdoing it, and you don't put God first, and you step so far off God's path or so far off your beliefs and what you truly stand on, just for certain things which you seen that might feel good to you at that time, that tells a lot about your character and where your treasure truly is. Because where your treasure is, that's what you love the most. Where your heart is, that's what you love the most. What you love the most, that's where your heart is at. If you love drinking the most, that's where your heart gonna be at. If you love sex, that's where your heart gonna be at. If you love pleasure, that's where your heart is gonna be at. So if you could do anything in your life and you never think about God, and you never ever think to put God first, that's where your heart is. I talk to so many people, man, and so many people think that God's covenant is something totally different. They think that God gonna forgive me no matter what I do. God gonna love me no matter what I do. No, that's not the case. If you're not following those 10 commandments, if you're not following the laws, statutes, and commandments, and those dietary laws, God don't even know who you are. Some people might call it judgmental, but I mean, hey, I gotta call a spade, because so many people out here lost, and they think it's just cookies and bubbles and it's fruit and parfaits, but it's not that at all. God said, my sheep hear my voice, and the stranger they will not follow. So if you under God's covenant, why you following pagan holidays? If you under God's covenant, why do you continually get drunk? If you're under God's covenant, why do you continually habitually smoke? If you're under God's covenant, why do you commit these homosexual acts? If you're under God's covenant, why do you fornicate? If you're under God's covenant, why you commit adultery? Why you following false idols? Why you lying? Why you cheating? Why you stealing? Why you killing? Why are you doing everything that you know that the Bible tells you not to do habitually if you under God's covenant? You can't get sweet and bitter water from the same fountain. Choose ye this day on who ye will serve. Either you gonna serve God. If God be God, serve him. And if Baal be God, then serve him. You can't have it no other way. The way that you think you should live your life is not the way God think you should live your life. So many people got church hurt. So many people was forced into the church. So many people was forced into believing things, that they shouldn't even believe, what it was that they didn't even believe in. It was forced into doing this type of stuff. It was forced into doing this and doing that. Okay, hey, if that was that way in your life at some point, okay, cool, then you got to work out your own salvation. That's why God gave you your own word to work out your own salvation. Don't depend on no one to teach you nothing. Don't depend on no one to show you nothing. But all in all, you can't say you living for God if you out there living for the world, Come out from among them and be ye separate, and I will receive you as sons and daughters. You can't live your life the way you want to live your life and think it's gonna be just like that, So many people say, well, God know my heart. God know this and God know that, If I'm going to hell, then I'm going to hell. If I'm going to heaven, God already know that. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, that God don't know your end beginning from the end. I'm not saying that God don't know if you're going to hell or heaven or hell or not. All I'm saying is, if God knew that you was already going to hell, if God knew you was already going to heaven, why would he give you a Bible and tell you to work out your own salvation? Because if that's the case, then that means the Bible that we read today would be null and void. And then none of what we're talking about would be valid at all, right? You got to think here, people. God gives you the power. He gives you ability to follow these things. He gives you the strength to do the things you need to do. And to walk in the ways you should walk in. Now, whether you do that or not, that's really on you. But God said, I will establish my covenant with you. And as long as you keep this covenant, then I will keep you hedged in. Ask yourself today, are you under God's covenant? God never said it was going to be easy. He said it was going to be possible. He never said it was going to be easy. It would definitely be, but it would definitely be possible. Why do we look towards these things in the world that make us feel good? Why do we look towards people to give us what we need? Why do we look towards fleshly things to make us get through the world and get through our problems? But when all we have to do is stay in that covenant, and all these things will be added unto us. A lot of times I feel like the words I say is falling on deaf ears. Like, I talk about so much on a daily basis, man. I preach to so many people. I got to the point where the other day, it's like, I was talking to someone, and I kind of felt like, I wanted to pull back a little bit from trying to speak the word a little bit, because I wanted to just put a pause on it, because I felt like, I feel like I was bombarding people. I feel like I'm like, okay, I'm trying to, I'm saying too much, like I'm doing too much, and I tried, but a situation presented itself that it's like I didn't even try to say anything. I wasn't even trying to speak it, but I had to. It's like it came out of nowhere, just like the words, it's like something hit me in the back of the head, was like, and then the words just started coming out like a water fountain, and I couldn't stop it. I started to feel like sometimes like I'm probably going, even though I know it's probably not true, you know what I'm saying, but I sort of feel like sometimes like I'm probably going to be alone for a while, because when it come down to marriage, and it come down to actually find a helpmate, suitable for me, I don't see any out there right now. It's rare I've met any woman out there that's actually like trying to walk the narrow path, and actually trying to deny themselves, and actually trying to do the right things, and actually trying to do what the Bible tells you to do. And even the ones that say they are, after a while, they tend to show themselves, A good tree can't bear bad fruit, and a bad tree can't bear good. So, you can tell them by their fruits, definitely, And I don't do that anymore. I never want to try to force anything on anybody. I never want to try to force religion. Try to force my beliefs on anyone. I never try to force no one to do one, do nothing, that's on you. All I can do is just plant the seed. All I can do is just, give you what you need. Let me fix this camera, y'all, and give you what you need to get to God, you know what I'm saying, to stay with God and to keep that covenant with the Lord and stay in God's covenant where you'll be protected and you'll be, hedged in. We have to worry about nothing. But the rest is on you, I got tired of forcing relationships. I got tired of making people try to see what you already need to see to get you where you need to be. But okay, that's people, I just got to make sure I'm staying hedged in, that I'm staying in God's covenant, because I can only plant the seed, But yeah, sometimes I do feel like that. Sometimes I do feel like, that it's going to probably take me a long while to find like an actual girl for me, or actual woman for me, because no woman out here is walking that anymore. Most women out here, they just, they under the Jezebel spirit, they under the succubus spirit, they under the Delilah spirit, where they just want to manipulate, they just want to live life, party, they want to read a couple Bible scriptures, they want to pray a little bit, but then after that, praying and just actually saying you believe in God is not gonna get you anywhere. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but if you're not following those commandments, if you're not following these laws, then I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but man, it's plain to see what's gonna happen with that situation, And I'm not one to boast about anything, but hey man, that's just what it is, The reason why so many people try to have that lukewarm, that double-minded spirit instead of the real covenant with God, because it's the sense and the knowing of loss. You're gonna lose your family, you're gonna lose friends, you're gonna lose people, you might even lose your job. You're gonna lose a lot walking with God, because the moment you tell people about what you got going on, there it is, your whole life start crumbling down. What? You don't want to celebrate holidays no more? What? I had somebody tell me that the other day, like, oh my Lord. And I had someone admit this to me also, that they knew that these holidays were pagan, that they knew they were man-made, but they just talking about, it's all about fun. I said in my old videos, sometimes fun will get you in a world of trouble. Sometimes fun will cause you a livelihood. Sometimes fun will cause your soul to be lost. So I'm not in the business to be having fun with anything when I know it can contradict the word of God. Because if I build up again those things on which God has destroyed, I make myself a transgressor. Why would I try to take a part of anything, that I know that the Lord tells me not to? That's called strengthening the hand of the evildoer. And yes, I'm still gonna do that video, y'all. I had to throw that out there. I'm still gonna do that. Give me some time. Partaking in things that the Lord said is evil and the Lord has said is bad, that's called strengthening the hand of the evildoer. So if I know someone smokes weed, and the Bible and God tells you to refrain from continuously smoking weed, and if I try to give you money to support that habit, I'm strengthening the hand of the evildoer. If I know you constantly getting drunk and I give you money to buy more and more and more to try to feed your habit, that's called strengthening the hand of the evildoer. If I know that you're committing sexual acts and you're not married, and I try to run a little play for you to try to hook you up with someone that I know that you're trying to work that move on, that's called strengthening the hand of the evildoer. Anything that goes against the word of God to feed flesh is strengthening the hand of the evildoer. So this covenant that God made with us, it's tough, man. It's so complex to the point where people be in it for a while and they said, man, I don't know if I can do it no more. Because I'm not going to lie to y'all, man. Over the past couple of weeks, I haven't spoken about it or said anything about it, but I was almost at that point. Because I'm like, man, I've had more fun. I've had more excitement in my life, fleshly, when I wasn't following God, fully following God. I had more people to talk to. Well, I wasn't always a social guy, nothing like that. But it's like, it was more excitement in my life when I wasn't doing the right thing. When I was mediocre, one foot in, one foot out. But I had to get called back. I had to get my mind back to the point where I felt like, well, I saw where that crap got me. But it's like, it didn't get me nowhere. And majority of these people that's still doing these stuff, they miserable. A lot of them, they lonely, depressed, angry, upset, on the verge of suicide, just trying to figure out their life, just trying to figure out what's really going on, just trying to figure out themselves and really don't know themselves and their true purpose of who they really are. So I thank God for continually to open my eyes, for continually to, show me the righteous ways, and for continuing to show me the way to walk, and continue to show me who I am, as a true person. So yeah, I had those times. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm a true man of God. I true walk with Him. You know what I'm saying? And I do this for real. People notice about me. There's nothing that people notice like, okay, this is what he stand on. He's not lukewarm with it. I had my times. I had my situations where I felt like, okay, well, I could have done that different. The flesh took over. You know what I'm saying? Or I could have said something different to that person. I could have went this a different way. I'm not always. I'm not perfect. But one thing I can know, I'm walking this fully, and I want to try to stay in this covenant. And I'm keeping this covenant to my best ability as much as I know how. But people know it about me. They got to know it in you. They got to see it in you. So even with the Sonia Massey murder or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like when she called the name Jesus and everything, and then still got her life took and all that type of stuff. I believe, I forgot what Bible, what verse it spoke that in, what book it spoke that in, but it speaks about, how certain demons, they know who you are. They know who's under God's covenant. They know who's under God's grace. So they won't attack you. They won't mess with you. In the spiritual realm, they know who you are. So they won't mess with you. They won't do anything to you. And you can rebuke them and call them, cast them out. So the reason why when she said I rebuke in the name of Jesus Christ, the reason why that didn't work is because she wasn't under God's covenant. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, I don't know what the lady's life was. I don't know how she lived her life or what she has going on, but I'm pretty sure she was a partier. Pretty sure she was went out there living in the world and all that type of stuff. So, like, okay, well, hey, that's going to show you, at certain times, certain people, we going to lose our life, you know what I'm saying? But the ones covered under God's covenant, under God's grace, we will be spared, But the ones that are not, you can't call the name Christ and then expect for this certain type of protection. You can't call the name Christ and expect for this type of covenant. You can't call the name Christ and expect for the Lord to be there for you, because the God that you're serving is not the God that you're calling on. You can't call on Christ and doing all these worldly things. You can't call on Christ and doing all these fleshly things, because God don't know you. I ask so many people, examine yourself. Examine who you really are as a person, Ask yourself, am I really under God's covenant? Or am I just lukewarm? Or am I double-minded? Or am I one foot in, one foot out? Am I letting the things of old dictate on how I live my life? Am I letting the things of the world dictate on how I live my life? Or am I letting people dictate on how I walk with God, This stuff is so simple, man. This stuff is so easy when it comes down to doing it, because you can read the word, but if you're not applying it to your life, you're just wasting your time reading it at all. You're just reading like you're reading any other book. So many people, they can read all these books. They can read anything, everything. and talk about it so much and then start living in it. But so many people, when they read the word and see what it says and know everything it says, but never do it. Why is that so hard? But you want God's love and you want God's grace, but why is that so hard for you to obey what he said? I never really understood that. I done read so many books, people talking about the 48 laws of power, this book about this romantic book about this. Y'all know all this stuff, and some of this stuff y'all take heed and apply it to your life. Why can't y'all apply the Bible to your life? Why y'all want to pick and choose what y'all want to follow? Why y'all want to pick and choose what y'all want to believe? Why y'all want to pick and choose what y'all think y'all should do, or what a church tell y'all should do? Because it makes you feel good, because it feeds your flesh. That's why. You don't wanna follow exactly what the Bible tells you to do, because it's gonna cause you to lose something. Like I said in my last video, it's gonna cause you to give up something. It's gonna cause you to change. Because most people don't want to know who their true self is, because their true self will scare you. It's gonna cost you something. God is a God of covenant. God does not love all people. He loves those that are of him, and those are his. If you don't follow those dietary laws and those commandments, God does not know you. Sorry to say that. We must come up out of the world, people, and get in this covenant. Or else I'm pretty sure we all already know what's going to happen to us. God is a God of covenant. There is no way around that. My closing message today is for the people, to let y'all know that stop listening to what the world tell you. Stop listening to what these churches tell you. Being lukewarm, being double-minded, being 1 foot in, 1 foot out, picking and choosing what you're going to believe in and what you think is right, it's not going to work. We got to get serious. We got to get this covenant. We got to stand under this covenant and walk in it. We got to get these dietary laws and obey them. We got to get these 10 commandments and start obeying them. We got to walk in the fullness of what the Lord tells us to do. Because if not, God don't know you. Remember that. So yes, sir, that was my video for the day. Man, listen, Jack, I'm 30 minutes in, man. I had a lot to say, man, you know. I got a lot more I want to talk about, you know, but we're gonna get back into it. I can still feel like my strength, you know, trying to go out for me, but but 30 minutes, man, you know, I ain't expecting to be here this long, you know. But you know, when the Lord got to speak through me, because I talk to so many people on a daily basis, man. I talk to so many people that's out here just living their life, man, the way they want to live their life, and just, you know, doing what they want to do, and not really keeping God first like they should, not really putting God, you know, above all. I mean, they'll put him above, they'll say this and say that, but you know, it's like, you know, you're still walking the way you want to walk, the way you want to walk. So I mean, you know, I don't think God really has anything to do with your life. You just, you know, keeping God as a cop out, or keeping God as a safe haven, you know, to try to say that, all right, well, I'm still gonna keep him right there, you know what I'm saying? I'm still want to do what I want to do, but I'm still gonna keep him right there. Yeah, okay, well, see how far they get you. And what I know is not gonna get you very far. So yeah, man, I wish the people would wake up. You know, you got to work out your own salvation. Like I always say, man, you know, no one is perfect, man. You know, no one is going to change overnight, but we got to start somewhere. You know, stop making excuses. You know, when you want to do something, you'll do it. As much as you want to go out there and party and go out there with your friends and do all the things that everybody else doing, as much as you can get up and put that effort to go do that, or go buy the new Jordans, or go buy the new Balenciagas or Amiri or whatever people around here be wearing nowadays, if you can put that effort in to go do that, put the effort in to go work a job, put the effort in to go sleep for somebody, put the effort in to go do whatever it is you think that you be doing to make you happy, put that same effort in and to living in God's covenant and to keeping God's words and laws, statutes, and commandments and dietary laws. Put the same energy to do that. Trust me, your life will be a lot more better. But yeah, man, give me a couple more days, man. We're gonna come back and we're gonna do another one, man. I want to still do some more stuff, man. I got a lot of more stuff to talk about right now, but I need to go, try to chill out a little bit because I'm feeling, still definitely, like I said, still kind of sick, so give me a couple more days, we're going to got some more content, to push out for y'all. So stay with the Lord, get serious about God, stop playing with it, stop following what everybody else do because, at the end of the day, you got to be judged accordingly for your works, no one else, you know what I'm saying? Stop following the world, come out from among them, and, trust in the Son and trust in the Father, because that is the way, ain't no way around it. And nothing else, no religion, no none of that, this can save you. Only God can. So, it's all love. See y'all soon. Shalom. Love.